We're out here working on the 𝐋𝐢𝐬𝐬𝐻 shop again, and we've got some fun projects over the next few days, and very exciting that we're finally like, you know, bringing it all together and these things are getting finalized. We're going to be putting in our stove, which is awesome. We have to do some paint on it, and it's a beautiful day to do that type of work.
And I'm excited to get this thing, and this stove has come a long ways. So it got shipped from Pennsylvania, from I think they're called DS machines or DS stoves, all the way to Anchorage, Alaska. And then we hauled it to our old place.
A year ago.
Yeah, this is a while ago. And then we hauled it here, and I've been moving it around, and it's on this sketchy pallet that like wants to fall over every single time. And I'm ready to get this thing in its final place. You might be wondering why we're going to be painting a brand new stove, and that is because, well, we've had a couple issues with this thing. When we had it shipped up here, apparently they were having some sort of issue with some of their paint, is what I was told, and this one was kind of defective. We'll kind of show you some close-ups of some chipping of the paint around it, and it started off, you know, it was definitely chipping some paint, and then as it sat through the winter, it started chipping more, right?
Yeah, I think we've had more of a time to kind of look at it. We've had a very long time, as we told you, to kind of think about it and work with the company and kind of figure out what we were going to do. They were helpful in sending us some new replacement pieces. They're like the panels that go on the outside. They're really pretty. They're red and powder coated. Those have some damage, I'm guessing, actually from transportation, whereas this is, we think that just something faulty happened when it got painted. And it's not like we can just go take it back to the store. So we've got all the stuff to scrub it down and repaint it with a wood stove, right?
It is what it is. Like Arielle said, we can't just bring it back to the store. I mean, it gets shipped thousands of miles up here, and we really like the stove. This one's called a Energy Max 160, and I think they classify it as like a coal furnace. I say coal because this burns coal, and it also burns wood. This thing right here is huge. It's more meant for like a really big house, like in your basement maybe or something like that. And we're heating 2,400 square feet. This is going to be kind of like a secondary heat source for us.
But a beautiful one nonetheless, right?
Hopefully we can get some paint to stick. It's about 50, a little over 50 degrees today.
Perfect day.
Well, because I got to take this panel out. It's got to slide over them.
Oh, shoot.
That goes something like that. One on each side and one on the back. Have you tried that?
Yeah, it's gentle. It's too gentle, I think. You're definitely gonna have to hit it with acetone.
Yeah.
So it is April, and the mosquitoes are already out, and they're biting. I think that's the first.
Oh yeah, look at this
They don't
big
come
one.
out. Huh?
That big one. One down.
Yeah, they're big.
3 million to go.
Here's
Look at all this flaking off right here.
the back was really bad.
All flaking off. Man. We're going to use acetone per the instructions on the stove paint. We're using like a stove bright wood stove paint. I think it said it goes up to like 1,200 degrees, so it's meant for wood stoves and motors and things like that. And we're going to just hit this whole entire thing with some acetone and clean it up, and hitting it with that air compressor was a pretty good idea because it was flaking off even more paint. Look at that.
Nice and clean.
Nice and clean. Get all the oil off there. Wipe it down and paint it, I guess.
Yeah, that's what we do before it gets too much dust and stuff on it.
Just do one side at a time. Let's start on the back. Make sure we're legit. Paint. It's like no good or something. We're gonna do probably 2 or 3 coats. it turned out pretty decent. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna see if we can get the tractor forks just under the stove. And yeah, it's like lag bolted to this pallet. So we're gonna unbolt it and we're gonna put it where it's gonna go. See if we can get her in there. We could sleep in the shop tonight with the stove. Well, not tonight, but whenever we get it finished. I do know we gotta go over about 2 inches, and then we gotta look at the manual or something and what our clearance is on the back, and then we'll put it there. Cool. Every stove's a little bit different. I just consulted the manual on ours, and we can get this stove, so the back of it, this black part of the metal stove can be 20, you don't want it any closer than 24 inches. And we're at about 31 right now. So we can move it in to about right here. We'll get it lined up, and we've already got our chimney thimble in place. We put that in a couple weeks ago. This chimney, we're not gonna run just straight up through the ceiling. We're gonna go up, I don't know, maybe, what is that? 7 to 8 feet. We're gonna go up, and then it's gonna do a 90, and it's gonna shoot out the wall. So, I mean, what do you think? We don't really have to get this in place right now. I say we start working on that thing, working to get that piece out.
Okay.
And put our chimney up, and then we'll come inside, and then we'll
Drop it down?
try to drop it down.
Okay.
It's supposed to be like that? I guess that's just how it looks. Comes pre-dented from the factory.
Well, which part is this? The part that goes up there?
So how this goes
Probably
like
just
that,
goes up a little bit.
and then this doesn't go there. This goes, wait, where does this go? It goes like this. So it goes like that, comes in, comes up, and then when you clean your chimney, you pop this out. That'll just go in there like that.
Slid it on last time. Oh, that makes sense now. That makes perfect sense, huh?
Now we're going. We're good to start. The right way, which we do. Slide that in. Somehow. And then we gotta figure out, and this is gonna have to go somewhere in this vicinity. Am I up in there? Am I flush?
No.
Right there. That's flush.
That's flush?
This pipe has to come out the wall, and it's so heavy once we put.
That's what I was wondering why it's
So
so
we're
heavy.
gonna put 4, 5, 6. We're gonna put 7 more feet of pipe on top of this. So it's got 7 plus this, so like 8 feet of pipe, and it's gonna push down.
So only if you have a certain amount of...
And this just really, I'm pretty sure if you go out the wall and you go up, you got to do this anyways. And then this also is gonna hold the little cap right here.
Oh, that you clean?
Yeah, and then you clean it and it just falls straight up.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay, let me go down. I'm gonna hand you some stuff. We're getting there. It's going pretty good. This is officially the second wood stove and chimney we've put in a building. The last one was at a remote cabin, and this one's going good because we did a lot of the work like the thimble beforehand. And this is called the support bracket. So when you go outside the building like this and you start stacking this stovepipe on there, and this is 8-inch double wall insulated stovepipe. It's actually pretty heavy. So this support bracket is gonna help hold all the weight. And we're gonna stick this one on there. This is a 4-foot section, and we're gonna see where we're at. We have another 3-foot section of this that we can stick on top of that. You wanna be, I don't know the exact numbers right now, but you have to be a certain distance above the peak and also a certain distance this way from it. So let's get this one on, if I can reach, and we'll see where we're at.
I'm pretty sure you don't have to be... You go straight above the peak, hon. It's just the height is all you're supposed to... Are you going to be able to do that, hon? You're scaring me.
That's okay.
Babe, you're like, babe, can I have...
Honey, I got it.
The anxiety is so high right now.
Okay, then
I'm
we're in.
sweating.
We're
The
in.
mosquitoes are biting.
Yeah, why is it so hot back here?
Just...
These mosquitoes are huge.
And they're biting.
You see that thing? You see how big it is?
They're biting my head.
And they're slow. Look at that. It's so easy to kill.
There's... With these boots?
Do you want to grab my hand?
Is it easier off the ladder?
Not really easy.
Eric, I just tipped it forward.
Are you? Honey, don't fall, okay?
I'm just trying to get over there, like I'm not. Nice necklace.
Okay, hold on a second. You're sketching me out now, okay? Please do not push me forward, okay? Is all I'm asking. You burn coal afterwards and you want to clean it in.
Really?
Yeah, it's
The
so
coal
hot.
will
Yeah.
burn the creosote off? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we were wanting to burn just coal, but
5 inches from the top.
oh, it wants a pretty good support.
Here we go. So that's how it goes.
Not sure that my ankles still work. barely work.
No?
You made that one. It's like 6 feet.
I know, just,
Do you know how much you need?
why won't this thing go in there? There it goes.
This strapping right here is supposed to be 2/3 of the way up from where the chimney night goes inside. So that's about where we're at. And these braces are supposed to be at a 45-degree angle. But since our roof, we're kind of on an upslope. This one will probably be at a 45-degree angle. This one probably won't. And we're trying to figure out how to fasten these to the steel building because each one of these bolts here has a rubber washer that kind of seals it from the weather. So we're getting there, but it's going to look, I don't know how it's going to look, something like that. Something like, to there?
A hair. I think that's good. No, I think that's good. Those are really. How do those clamps go right there?
Those?
Yeah.
All right, we're learning as we go out here this roof bracing. This is the first time we put it in. And at first we had it mounted kind of just like this. And it wasn't very strong. And then, I don't know if we did it right or not, but I realized, or I thought, hey, we could bend the little ends. And we put it more going out. And now, I mean, now we're, I don't want to get this too dirty, but we're really secure. And we've got our chimney cap on. This is all tight. And I think we're done up here.
These was, or the braces was with this little piece of metal it came with, and then we put a washer in between here and the metal. And we're pretty sure that's going to help for water. And I think we put them this way because we want the water to shed. Seems like that made more sense. That looks awfully nice, hon. Hey, that comes out like 2 feet.
Yeah, and then you can adjust that basically. I need a tape measure though, if you do want to hand me a tape measure.
Okay.
Because I gotta measure 24 inches out.
We got plenty of room. So let's go something like that. Yeah, we won't even have to cut it at all. We'll just go leave it right there.
And then once we put the pipe in, we'll line it up. So let's go back first, right? Okay, this is ready? Are you serious?
What about the twist mechanism? I use that for the video on myself with the house. Do you know what that is? Wait on twist together. I'll look this time. That's definitely leaving some marks. Actually, it's not.
Freaking heavy. That's crazy. Okay, right?
Is this like 800 pounds? That is more than.
We're like 24 exactly. And we're 24 exactly.
I'm going to use $1.
Is it up off the ground completely?
No, gosh, no. It's on the shifting its weight over here.
But yeah, stay right there. Let me just lift it and see if we can get it.
It's going to tip it before it lifts it.
You sure?
Well, we can slowly push it that way now. It's really
Oh my gosh, yeah.
That's
I'm going to look real quick. It was about a solid 1.5 inches off.
Okay, well when I drop it, like this.
Awesome.
That's it. Let's put some pipe on.
Okay. You don't even have a paint scraper?
Yeah.
Where did it? This isn't working. Hold that pipe.
You just popped it out. What are you doing?
I didn't pop it out, I didn't even touch it. Right, but it's going in. But I have to tell you, look at that. That's how that one should fit. You shouldn't have to force it in like that. I bet you would need an adapter. All right, guys, this is not going well. It's not fitting. So we're gonna figure out what we have to do to make it fit, because it's just not working. So we're gonna call it quits for tonight.
I'm saying the only thing you could do is you could slice it.
Yeah, even if you slice it though, you're gonna have to slice it all around, because look, it's just way too big. That is not designed to go into this collar. This collar is too small, or we need, I mean, look, it's just not even, if you get it in there somehow, you're gonna have these holes.
What's
What's this collar?
Well, that's it, folks. We got her in. We definitely had some issues with this one. There were some weird size parts, I guess, but our paint, it actually turned out pretty good. So it looks like a nice brand new stove, as it should. And our problem we were running into was this stovepipe here. This is not just like the cheaper type of stovepipe, so a lot of the stuff we use is just the regular hardware store stuff. This we actually got from this place called the Woodway in Fairbanks, and it's like a high-end wood stove store. So this is thicker gauge than this, and this would not fit into our collar no matter how hard we tried. So we tried to use a crimper tool that's meant for like crimping ducting and pipe and stuff like that. I don't know what was going on. It pretty much didn't work at all, but luckily we were able to find this kind of unique part, which is right here, and this is called an 8-inch to 8-inch adapter, and somehow that makes it work. And it came in a semi-gloss black, so we sanded that down, we painted it the flat black to match the stove. It turned out pretty good. We've got all of our screws in, and obviously there's still some things to do to this stove. We have to wait to go pick up our side skirting, which is gonna be like a dark red. It's gonna look really nice. And then this front piece is gonna be black. We're gonna have to put that on when we get those. And this bad boy is ready to fire up. And I think we're gonna try to fire it up tonight, cure the paint, and see how it works. But for now, we've got some work to do over by the sawmill shed. So that's what's going on today. Before we get things fired up over here, I wanted to show you guys or talk to you about a little problem we had, and we found the solution, and it was kind of a unique solution that I haven't ran into. So this is the Yamaha generator. It is a 3,000 watt generator. The problem we were having is it was overloading at about 1,500 watts, so half of what it's capable of producing. And I tore into it, and I found in the exhaust some clogged screens or spark arresters, filters, whatever you want to call them. This is one that's kind of deeper down in the exhaust, and it is just completely suited up enough where it wasn't really letting exhaust out. So when the well pump kicked on or the oven and this thing needed to produce some power, it couldn't rev up and give us that power. And then towards the end of the exhaust, right where the tip comes out, there's another little metal filter, and this one is just as clogged. So these are pretty simple to clean up. You can hit them with a wire brush or like a torch and clean them up. But for now, the Yamaha's running awesome.
Behind behind me is the wood pile that we have left from the 14 cords that we bought approximately a year ago. We are prepping to get some more. And usually we keep the logs on that side of the sawmill shed, but we did some rearranging out here as things were breaking up. So we kind of pre-cut the logs. We have found that that's gonna like just make our system more efficient out here since we're cutting wood so often. And over here is where we're going to be working on our siding. This is our spruce siding that we cut for our shop end walls. They are 1x6s and they are absolutely gorgeous when they're planed. We're pretty jazzed about the planer that we got. We have a station, Eric set up a stations out here for us, so he's going to be working over there getting the ends cut straight, and then I'm going to be running them through the planer. This wood is about a week old and it's been sitting out in the sun. It's a pretty massive stack, as you can tell, so we have to get to work.
Just a few minutes in and things aren't going too well. The first few boards were turning out absolutely perfect. I mean, when you plane these, we'll show you guys, it's just like night and day from sawmill lumber to what you get. But now, it's not bad, but we're getting wood that's not as smooth. It's hard to explain, but there's like little areas where, I don't know, maybe the blade's not as sharp as it should be, and I pulled the blades off, and the cool thing about these blades, or they call them knives on a planer, is you could flip them. So this is the side we've been using, and then we could flip it to this side, which is brand new, and there's some like sap buildup on there. And I mean, they're sharp. They're not as, definitely not as sharp as this other side. And then I've got 3 extra sets or packs of blades that we can use, but we haven't cut very much. So there's a huge mosquito on your finger. We haven't cut very much, so we'll see what happens. I'm just gonna flip all these blades around, and we're kind of just troubleshooting here. See what happens. Okay, so now, look, this tool's pretty cool. It's got a magnet on the back.
Running into more problems out here, and it is not the mosquitoes. So we thought it was the blades. Eric changed those, or the knives, and we also had some that were passing through. They were a little bit too thin. You could just tell because they weren't registering down here, and they just didn't obviously plane. And then we also had a few that were too thick, and it would kind of jam up in there, so we'd have to stop the whole thing. And we've made the choice to stop for the day because we figured out it is actually wet wood that is making it so we're not getting smooth pieces. The first stack was great because it was near the edge of the trailer, so they were dry. And we just ran a test one through, and it's beautiful. Again, another dry piece. The wet one's not turning out the way we want them at all. So we're gonna cut them today, sort through them, and dry them out for probably one full day. It's pretty warm here, so I think they'll be ready to cut by tomorrow.
So what we need to do I need to open this up. I need to open up the damper. And then we need to open up this, which, there we go. See if it's getting a draft. Looks like it's starting to draft already. Yeah, see the smoke's not coming out the front anymore. Man, this firebox is huge. She's smoking. Well, today's not really going our way with everything out there by the sawmill, but we figured we're at least going to be able to light the stove tonight, and we've got it going. There's a big plate that kind of goes in the bottom, and you put that in there when you're burning wood, and when you're not burning wood, if you're burning coal, you take that out so you can use this shaker that shakes the grates in there and drops the ash down into that bottom pan. And we've got the plate in there. We've got a bunch of kindling going. In this manual for this wood stove, it doesn't actually say the burn process, but I talked to the guy at the company a while back, and he said you just get a nice ripping hot fire going in there, and it kind of cures the paint. It'll kind of smoke for a while, and they kind of smell when you first fire them up. The damper, or the flue on the side open. We've got the stovepipe damper, which is right here. This is open. And then this is called the air wash. And an air wash, I didn't really know about them. It's kind of like an air chamber that you can open, and somehow it puts air in between the fire and the glass, and it burns it really hot, and it's supposed to clean the glass. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But we're gonna let the kindling take off, and we're gonna start throwing some massive logs in here because the firebox is so big. Like this nice long one here. This won't fit inside our wood stove in the house, but it'll fit in here pretty easily. It'll just eat everything. There we go.
That's for the coal?
This is, it's a damper. So you know like when we turn ours down on ours, it just sits where it is. This one actually has like a heat thing in here that uses the heat, and it'll actually open and close it to keep it at whatever level you put it on. So if you put it on level 2, it'll actually open and close that slightly.
How?
It has this coil in here that detects the heat from the stove, and it moves it somehow.
Oh, no, yeah.
Yeah, our other stove that we put in had a flicker.
I don't think that it matters with these, like you said. I think you just get them ripping.
Yeah, that's what they told me. He said just put a big hot nice.
Water from?
He likes it. You like that?
It's loud. What is that clanging?
Just heating up. Man, the flames are insane. Things are going pretty good here so far. The chimney outside is producing like no smoke. This is a pretty efficient stove, so it's just kind of like that hazy kind of thing you get going out of the top, which is pretty cool. And I went and touched it on the outside. That's a double wall chimney pipe, insulated, and it is cool to the touch, which is awesome. This stovepipe in here is all single wall and extremely hot. And the first thing that started kind of smoking and curing was the stovepipe, and now it looks like it's moved down to kind of like the top of the stove. We did notice some of the paint right here is peeling off a little bit. We might have to touch that up, but everything else looks, there's a little more there too. Everything else looks pretty decent, like it's curing and gonna harden and hopefully last for us. I got a couple specs on this wood stove that I was gonna list off for you. So this is a DS Stoves. It's an Energy Max 160. And we went with this one because it was pretty much like one of the biggest stoves that we could find, and we knew we were gonna be heating a big shop in a really cold area. This stove is rated to heat 2,000 to 3,500 square feet, which is very big. It's 86% efficiency. Let's see, the BTUs are 160,000, and one of the reasons we really like this stove is the big firebox. So the firebox on this is 4.5 cubic feet, which is just huge. Yesterday when we were putting this in, you saw us really struggling at how heavy this thing was, and we were guessing like, 600, 700, 800 pounds. It weighs 1,050 pounds. and we didn't realize it was that heavy. So this is a very heavy stove.
Beyond some of the specs, we went with this stove too because we do have the ability to source coal here. It just economically makes a lot of sense where we're at. So that's predominantly what we're going to be using in it. And it's also kind of, what's the word, and it will last a few days as our secondary source.
Right.
If you want to use it that way.
Yes, you can load this thing way up and you can crank it down low. Coal puts off a lot more heat than wood. We're not familiar with burning coal. We've never burned it, and we don't even have our coal yet. But we've got our wood stove in, or our coal stove, and it's ready to go for us. But that's about it for now with the stove. And I guess we're just gonna kind of hang out and burn a couple more logs and enjoy the fire for the evening. I gotta get the side thing on here. That's low.
Oh, that's low.
That's low. See that? That's low. That's high. You can also open the air wash. The air wash is supposed to put a layer of air and flame right next to the thing.
Yeah, when you open the air wash, it did something. I noticed it.
Man, that sucker is hot. There's the fires down in there. It's like,
It's almost done smoking. It's just smoking a little more at the top. That's really not too bad.
Look at the coals. Look at the coals down in there.
So you just run the adapter? You run the same adapter? What do you do?
you run the same adapter. You just cut it and shove it in there, and run a double wall pipe to here.
Yeah, they're out here.
I went flying.
Good.
This is probably a week old. This is a week old.
This is about a week old.
I don't remember what I said after that. This is about a week old. I don't know. What?
Go ahead.
It's what is it?
Take out all these screws on each one. Good thing I'm fast at screwing, huh?